Hello and welcome to Studio 415.
On today's show, you'll get to hear administrators explain if NACS will need a new middle school or high school in the future.
You'll see a local music school and how it's impacting students.
And you'll see the spotlight turn on the fields of faith.
All of that and more coming up next.
You make that divide and break it in two, you do divide the community.
Good opportunity for people to get to know others in the school, others outside of the school.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take camera 2.
Welcome to Studio 415. I'm Gage Fisher.
And I'm Jacob Inman. With a growing population and constantly cramped hallways, some Carroll students wonder if a new high school will come to NACS in the near future.
Studio 415 reporter Brandon Hedges joins us with an in-depth look at what's to come.
Crowded hallways, changing lunch schedules, and an ever-growing graduating class size. All signs that seem to point for Carroll to be overcrowded. Yet this growth may not be as extreme as many students believe.
Northwest Allen County Schools has recently laid the groundwork for creating their 8th elementary school, Aspen Meadow, to some debate on whether NACS may truly need a new elementary. Yet looking at the most recent demographic study from 2019, and with external trailer classrooms at Huntertown Elementary just barely keeping students at bay, the decision to build Aspen Meadow becomes clear. For at least now, students will have enough space for their education, but in the future when the current elementary class builds their way to the middle or high school, the concern is can the middle school and high school accommodate the larger class sizes? Yet according to Northwest Allen County Schools Superintendent Dr. Chris Himsel, NACS does have a plan in place for the future, but more census data is needed before making any decisions.
So when we have the 2020 census data, he will come and update our demographic study, which will predict and forecast what our enrollment will be for each of the next 10 years. We'll take that information and we'll make plans and adjustments based on that, but we won't know exactly when it is that we need to do something or whether or not we need a temporary solution instead of a long-term solution until after we have our demographic study.
Himsel says that there will most likely be a new middle school by the year 2025 if it's needed. But if student growth is low enough, it's possible that expansions to Maple Creek and Carroll Middle buildings may take place. Along with plans for the middle school, there may be possible expansions to the high school freshman center between the years 2022 to 2028, leaning more towards the 2028 side. The CHS 1012 building doesn't seem to need any specific expansions for the next 10 years, as there are still empty classrooms every period, and the reason for cramped halls is to blame on the old architecture of the buildings made in the 1960s. Though these are current predictions, Himsel says that NACS would like to be cautious and wait for the 2020 demographic study before making any specific decisions. Though the students of NACS will not see an expansion to Carroll High School anytime soon, even the possibility in the far future of a new high school seems to be unlikely, according to NACS Chief Communications Officer Lizette Downey.
I know there's a lot of community perception that we need another high school, but as soon as you make that divide and break it in two, you do divide the community. And we like the feel of one happy family, and so it does change things.
According to Himsel, growth within the area of NACS has mainly been due to the increased amount of jobs within the region, including the northern Huntertown area, along with the aid of Parkview and DuPont hospitals. Many people who live out of state coming from Chicago, North Dakota, Texas, Florida, and all over the U.S. are settling in the bustling business of Northeast Indiana. The growth of the job market has allowed many people to flock into the area, sparking many new additions of suburban households to spring up as well. Himsel says that with all the growth that has happened in the area, NACS is happy with the education they provide for their current and future new students.
We're proud of the experiences that we provide kids, and we think that compared to other schools, we provide an overall positive experience, even though there may be some little nuances that we could get better at, or maybe we need to look ourselves in the mirror or learn from some others. But that's what we're constantly trying to do in terms of a continuous improvement aspect of things.
For Studio 415, I'm Brandon Hedges.
You step on stage, play an instrument as part of a band, and the crowd cheers. If this is your dream, it could be a reality.
Studio 415 reporter Kat Hamrick takes us behind the music at a local school that wants to help you with that dream. Kat joins us now in the studio.
In my story, I took a look at School of Rock and their special way of teaching music theory to students of all ages and abilities.
For over 17 years, School of Rock has been providing kids of all ages around the country with quality music lessons and the foundation to become real musicians. The school expands every year and currently has 184 locations across the nation, as well as 30 outside of the U.S. 4 years ago on Halloween, School of Rock Fort Wayne opened. School of Rock offers lessons for guitar, bass, drums, keys, and vocals. Teaching through popular rock songs, the performance-based school allows students to learn a multitude of musical fundamentals while still staying engaged with the material and having fun. As well as learning to play the songs by themselves, the students also gain experience playing together as a band and in front of a live audience.
We get them playing together right away, regardless of their experience level. And not only are we teaching them like music theory and concepts and methods, but we're also teaching songs that they're going to perform with the other students in their rehearsals, all leading up to a show where they perform the songs in a show as a group.
School of Rock Fort Wayne music director Kyle Smith believes that allowing kids to play the music they love is the first step in effective musical education.
And that's what we do here is we, instead of start with this abstract idea and say, okay, learn this, and then someday you'll use that. We start with, here is, you know, a classic iconic song, and let's talk about the concepts you see in here. And we try to match the types of concepts in those songs to where you're at as a musician.
Playing only 3 shows a year, the students of the School of Rock performance program practice and rehearse their assigned songs for up to 4 months before showing them off to a crowd. During this time, students are taught each song in their 45-minute private lessons and perfect them together in their 3-hour-long group rehearsals. Along with learning their individual parts, students also work on group structure, locking together, dynamics, stage presence, and more.
School of Rock is known for teaching middle school and high school age students. You don't have to be a teenager to learn. In fact, you can be any age to enroll.
Along with the performance program, which is open to most students anywhere from 8 to 18, School of Rock offers many other programs for younger children and even adults who want to learn and play music. Among these is Little Wing, a music class for 3 to 6-year-old students. By playing games and participating in other interactive activities, the young students are taught musical fundamentals in a way that they can easily understand. School of Rock's other programs for kids under 13 are Rookies and Rock 101. Students in these programs have the opportunity to eventually move up to performance once they are ready. Students who are already over 18 can participate in the adult program. To learn more about your local School of Rock, you can visit the website fortwayne.schoolofrock.com, or you can follow them on a number of social media sites, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even TikTok. If you would like to see the kids of the Fort Wayne School of Rock in action, their next upcoming performance will be at Flashback Live on December 15, where they will be paying tribute to Black Sabbath, Ladies of the 80s, and the Blues Revolution. While tickets are $12 at the door, School of Rock students will be selling them in advance for only $10. For Studio 415, I'm Kat Hamrick.
As many of you know, Carroll puts on a musical as well as a few plays each year. However, what many students may not know is that there is a ton of opportunities outside school that students with a passion for theater have to let their talent shine.
In my story, I went around Fort Wayne to showcase to you the many theatrical venues that students can get involved in.
The fall musical is right around the corner. When auditions were first being held for the production, a ton of students tried out, but only so many could be cast, leaving the rest with an itch for the stage. Most students may only be aware of the school plays and yearly musicals as the only ways to get involved in theater, yet this is not the case. There are a ton of venues reaching out to young actors and actresses around town. I spoke with theater teacher and play director Steve Pearson to find out more about where to go to get involved in theater.
In town, there are a handful of theaters that are during the theater season always putting on shows. Civic is one, and they also have a youth theater program that caters to only kids in school. That's where the age tops out. There's a dinner theater in town called the Arena Dinner Theater. They do a dinner and a show, and it's like a wedding. It's set up like a wedding. You sit at a table with other people, and the show is right there. There's no mics. It's very small. It's very intimate. St. Francis does a show, 1 or 2 shows a year. PFW has their own theater department in which not only the college kids get cast, anyone from the community or high school can try out and be in those shows. So there's some community and some college theaters in town, easily 4 or 5.
The Civic has performed many popular shows, such as Jekyll and Hyde, Newsies, and just this year, they performed Sweeney Todd for their 2019 to 2020 season. They put on a variety of shows, such as musicals, plays, and vocal performances. They also have a program for children and teens with a much younger cast than the typical Civic shows. Junior student Margaret Gahn has met many lifelong friends through the program.
School productions are a lot of fun, and you can bond with people in your grade and other grades, but they're always going to be like just school friends. And then people you get involved with like outside theater, community theater, those people are people you're going to be talking to like regardless of what's happening in your life.
Junior student Emmy Connor elaborated on how the experience of a school production is different than a community production.
There's just a different variety of cast members, because instead of like this person's on the soccer team, but they also like to do theater, like in Fort Wayne Youth Theater, this is a big bunch of people where theater and singing and dancing and acting is like their thing.
For those who want to enjoy the theater experience more casually, Pearson also has a variety of classes students can take to really express themselves.
I like to take my theater class because it's a fine arts that most people have to take. It's the intro class to any other class, or you can take it and walk away. But I've learned that just theater arts, when I talk about PFW and St. Francis and youth theater and civic, all of a sudden nobody knew that existed. My advanced acting classes covers bits and pieces of the same information you're going to get in college. And we do a lot more scene work, which prepares you obviously to go into the community or anywhere else you want to take your theater interest.
For more information, come to Mr. Pearson's room, where you can find information on upcoming events and more. For Studio 415, I'm Jacob Inman.
There are several clubs at Carroll that encourage students to be open with their faith. One of these clubs is hosting a new event tomorrow night.
Rather than being a Carroll exclusive event, Fields of Faith is inviting people from all over Fort Wayne to join in. Studio 415 reporter Seth Lehman brings us this week's spotlight.
Fields of Faith is an event that is being hosted by Carroll's Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club. It is a time to gather and worship together for a couple hours, much like an Enlightened event. Students and their families will show up being welcomed by FCA leaders and the Enlightened band playing on stage. The event will have multiple testimonies from a leader of FCA, college students, and high schoolers. Along with that, people can expect to have not only group worship led by the Enlightened band, but also individual time to reflect on what the speakers had to say. To end the night, there will be a big group prayer and everyone will be played out with a final song or two from the band. Carissa Byman says that she hopes to see a lot of Carroll's students there and that everyone is welcome regardless of what they believe.
I think it's a really good opportunity for people to get to know others in the school, others outside of the school, and then to just grow a sense of community within our school and just like to grow in that relationship with each other.
Fields of Faith is happening on November 14th from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Alumni Gym, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes meets every Tuesday morning in the multi-purpose room at 7:30. For Studio 415, I'm Seth Lehman.
This week's Charger Challenge is taking us back into the gym for a fun challenge.
Let's send out to the Charger Challenge boys to see what their special contestants can do.
I'm your host, Daniel LaRue, and today we will have 4 contestants throwing trick shots from the balcony and trying to get it in a trash can, all to win the Studio 415 Cup.
I am Eric Runyon, and I'm in 10th grade. And why I want to get the cup B, because I am number 1 and I have some experience with a football. So,
Daniel Watkins, my grade is 11th grade. I'm a junior. Because I didn't win, my arm is so strong.
Me, Sadly. I attend 1/10 date. Yes.
Hi, my name is Maddie Ryan, and I'm a sophomore. But why? Because I want to win this challenge, so I have to win the Studio 415 Cup.
Up first we have Gavin, his first shot. Oh, it just barely misses the trash can. Now we have Eric, and he puts it wide left. Now Shelby Oh, and she is just wide left of the trash can too. And Andy throws up the ball. Oh, what a miss by Gavin. I try to hand the ball to Maddie. Oh, looks like she is giving a prayer. Maddie, with her first shot, what's she gonna do with it? And it hits off the front of the trash can. Now into round 2. Gavin giving us a countdown. What's he gonna do? Oh, and it hits the right side of the trash can. Eric, up next. He goes power, and he hits the rim of the trash can. Andy, running for the ball. What is he gonna do right here? And he misses. Not surprised, as he runs across the screen. Now, Shelby. Oh, and she didn't get enough on it on that throw. Can Andy get up this time? Yes, he can. Now, it is Maddie's turn. Maddie with her shot. And it hits off the front trash can. Round 3, Gavin. Oh, and it is not as good as a shot as his other 2. Eric, what's he gonna do with it? Oh, and he goes for power again, and it's just wide left. Shelby, with power, but not accuracy. Maddie, what's she gonna do with this shot? And she, oh, too short, just by a little bit. Now, we are going with Eric and Maddie since they both hit the trash can on their last shot. Eric with his first shot. What's he gonna do? Oh, and it goes in the trash can. The crowd is going crazy, and Eric is obviously proud of that shot. Here's an instant replay on this one, as it just goes in the trash can perfectly. That form was unmatched. I'm surprised that we only got one basket. And now, Maddie. Oh, and she hits the trash can. If she would have made that, she would have tied. Maddie, here's her instant replay on her shot. Great release, but not enough accuracy as it just hits off the right side of the trash can. All in all the contestants did a great job.
Congratulations, Eric, for winning the Studio 415 Cup. How do you feel?
I feel lit, dog!
How do you guys feel?
Good.
Good? Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Well, that's what matters.
Thanks,
Charger challenge.
The Carroll High School Charger Pride Marching Band traveled to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis this past weekend to participate in the Indiana State School Music Association Marching Band State Finals.
Their show titled Shine earned the band a 10th place finish in Class A, where Avon High School finished in first place. Carroll's marching band earned a trip to the state finals 6 out of the last 7 years.
There was only one fall sport still playing in sectionals last weekend.
Studio 415 reporter Logan Bartles joins us in studio with a breakdown of Charger athletics.
Thanks, Gage and Jacob. The football team continued their sectional play on Friday, facing off against the Homestead Spartans. Homestead came out with a bang and went up 17-0 at the half. The Chargers would eventually lose to Homestead by a score of 38-14. Quarterback Jeff Becker threw for 187 yards with 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. Hunter Mertz had a rushing touchdown, and Leighton Mitchell had a receiving touchdown. The loss to Homestead ends the Chargers football season. For Studio 415 Sports, I'm Logan Bartles. Back to the desk.
That's all we have today. Thanks for watching.
If there's a story you'd like us to cover, please send an email to Mr. Johnston.
If there's an event you'd like covered, please tell us in advance.
For all of us here at Studio 415, have a great week, Carroll.